of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for everyone showing up. I am excited and honored to be able to speak on this amazing platform with this amazing group. My name is Kelley Duren Jones, and I am a person who stutters. I'm also an author, coach, and speaker. And as the founder of Grace to Grow Beyond Fear, I help individuals in their self discovery journey to live with purpose at their full potential, with faith-based and hope-inspired tools, despite fear, anxiety, and trauma, some things that I've dealt with pretty much ever since I can remember. Um, in addition to that, I'm the founder of the Grace to Grow Circle. We meet as a group of women. We meet monthly. It's a supportive community, again, of hope and faith, some ambitious women who are all looking for some of the same things on the same journey. We just come to release and relax. We have a speaker, we have a business spotlight. Most of us are either entrepreneurs or um, authors, so we meet there. So that's who I am and what I do. So I'm here today. I just want to share my journey a little bit and talk about my book that I've written. It's called My Voice Matters: The Emotional Uncovering the Emotional Toll of Stuttering. I don't know if you can see it there. But it's available on my website and on Amazon. But let me tell you a little bit about my journey, and I hope that everyone can hear me okay. So normally when I talk about my journey, because I've made a commitment to be a voice for people who stutter, because growing up, I didn't realize that this community or anything like this ever existed. So when I talk to my audience, I'm normally telling them to um to to imagine growing up hiding yourself, hiding who you really are, not speaking, literally not speaking. For years I didn't speak. My family didn't even notice because I only spoke when I had to, one word here or there, because they were so used to speaking for me. I had almost trained them to speak for me. And because I was afraid that I would be embarrassed, or they knew that I couldn't speak, although we never talked about it. Um, just too ashamed to find for people to find out that I stutter. But in certain circles, like school, church, when you have to do recite something or read something, there's no avoiding it. The earliest age I could remember, I think, is kindergarten. I remember being in a circle and not being able to say my name and feeling like I was going to literally pass out. As a kid, that's traumatizing because kids can be very cruel. And a lot of times teachers don't know what to do or how to handle it, right? And so some of my other early memories include being in school. I could barely say my name. I could barely read a sentence. So when you're going in a row, waiting for your turn, you're constantly preparing, like counting down which part is mine, trying to rehearse it, trying to figure out which parts I can leave out. And oftentimes I would read the first line and the last line and just sit there because I was just so humiliated. And so I felt like I was broken or something. So growing up with always consumed with fear, and embarrassment does something to your personality. It does something to how you feel about yourself. So it was a very traumatic time, and I'm sure in this audience, some of us can relate. If you can relate, it's something that you just wouldn't wish on anybody, right? Um, so my parents did the best that they could. They um weren't familiar with anybody that stutters. Like I said, we didn't know anybody. So they made a safe place for me at home. But when I was out in the world, I felt like I was under attack all the time. And I learned to put on this face, this attitude like I was okay. So people thought I was okay. Even my parents thought I was okay. No one really knew the trauma and the fear and the things that I had allowed into my life, relationships that didn't serve me, jobs that I didn't serve, that didn't serve me. Even as far as going on a job interview, it was like torture. So I avoided a lot of places and a lot of things. And I learned how to put on this face of this cover so well that I began to trick myself. I just stopped thinking about it. I never talked about it. And then one day I was, doing coaching and, helping people with vision and with um, growth, lifestyles, and mindsets. and even self-discovery. I thought I had discovered myself, still hiding away in this dark space that I was so good at hiding, helping people with the parts that I know. And so I became a certified coach, a certified life coach, business coach, Christian coach. I even did a certification for a vision board coach because I teach a lot about visions and I facilitate vision board events. But I was helping people in those spaces. And one day I was just like, something is missing. I knew that there was more that I was supposed to be doing. And I literally asked God, what am I supposed to be doing? And as clear as I'm talking to you right now, I literally heard like share about the stuttering. I hadn't thought about the stuttering in years, even though I still stutter quite often sometimes. Um, and I was just like, "What?" Like, no, like that's a place, just thinking about it, it's a place of trauma and fear. So I sat down and I just searched face stuttering on Facebook, and the National Stuttering Association came up. And I was just floored, like, what? I never knew anything like this existed. I never had speech therapy. I never had any help. It was just overlooked. I just passed through grade by grade, being pushed along with no help, no speech therapy, no nothing. So I commented on a post on their Facebook page, and the chapter here, the chapter leader here, Tanya, if she's here, hey Tanya, she responded and invited me to a chapter meeting, and that absolutely changed my life. As I sat in that circle in a room full of people that stuttered, I had no idea this even existed, and I was overwhelmed with something I couldn't figure out. I was just crying the whole meeting, and I couldn't figure out if it was a fear of stuttering or a fear of being able to freely stutter, or a fear of that I might stutter, because that was always something that concerns me even right now. In this space, that there's always this back wall of what if I just, go into my block and I can't speak. And so I was there, and being with a room full of people who understood the pain, the trauma, the fear, all of the things, being in that room really just changed me. So that was the beginning of my healing journey. And that was just last year. Believe it or not, I'm 52 years old. I've always felt hidden and dark on the inside, but on the outside, if you look, if you talk to my family, if you talk to my closest friends, they never knew. They were like, "You stutter." We know you stumble sometimes, but so reading my story now in this book was very hard to write. I wrote it last year after in attending and speaking at my first StutterFest last year, after attending the first conference at NSA. I knew that what God had told me before I was opened up to all this. I knew I had to do it. And in 3 months, I wrote this book. It's a very easy read on purpose because it's written for non-readers. It's written for people to have the opportunity for healing, just like I received after learning that all the limited beliefs I had about myself, all the things that made me think that I was broken and less than, and something dark was about me that I couldn't let people see. All those things were not shouldn't have been in a bad space. It's just me. So in this writing this, I literally cried most of writing this whole book. And I learned to love myself through expressing myself on these pages. It's a short read, but it's not only for, and I tell people all the time, it's not only for people who stutter, but it's for anybody who has any type of limiting beliefs about themselves that they can't change, that makes them feel less than. Because however your makeup is, that's the way I believe you were supposed to be. Now, if there's things that you can change, then we learn to change them, right? We find a way to get help through therapy, through doctors, through whatever. But the fact that you can know something that's different about yourself, you don't have to think it's a flaw, and you can still walk in your purpose and do whatever you need to do with whatever you think is a flaw, which is actually probably something that could help heal someone else. And I just want to really quickly, before I close, just read the introduction. It's really short to the book, and you'll get an understanding of kind of how the book flows. I've had some great testimonies from it, from most people that don't stutter, and a few that do. So it says, "Greetings. I'm thrilled to welcome you to My Voice Matters, uncovering the emotional toll of stuttering. This book is not just a deep dive into the stuttering world and its emotional aspects. It's a personal and informative journey of faith, resilience, and self discovery that I am excited to share with you. At the heart of this book, you will find stories of overcoming challenges, fighting self doubt, and breaking away from the limiting beliefs that often hold us back. Whether you are someone who stutters, someone who knows or interacts with a person who stutters, or simply someone on a path of understanding and personal growth through challenges, this book is written for you. In these pages, I have shared painful experiences I chose to keep hidden because of the lingering trauma they carry. This book is my release, a letting go of layers of fear, hurt, shame, and self doubt. It's my shout out to the world and myself that I am enough, that my voice matters, and that I am perfectly imperfect, just as we all are in the eyes of God. God looks at us with eyes full of hope and love, even amidst our flaws and weaknesses. As James 1 and 4 says, beautifully says, but let patience have his perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. My Voice Matters is a faith and hope inspired guide to help you overcome challenges that may be limiting you. It's a reminder that your voice matters, that you deserve to be seen and heard, and that you can achieve greatness. Your challenges may not be related to stuttering, but if we are all honest, we have areas in our lives that need extra attention, growth, and improvement. This book is for anyone who has grappled with self-esteem issues, anxiety, self-doubt, lack of motivation, self-care, or self-love, negative talk, the impact of others' negative words, and perhaps your own negative words towards yourself, excessive worry and fear, career advancement issues, unhealthy relationships, or the fear of being heard and seen. As I release my truths, I hope you too will take a moment to reflect on yourself and find the courage to do the work needed to become free, free to be whole, healthy, and healed, walking in the purpose God has for you. It might be scary, but remember it's okay to do it afraid. Actually, if you're not scared or uncomfortable, you may need to reevaluate your goals because real growth often comes from places of discomfort and challenges. Congratulations on taking this leap towards self discovery and growth. And remember to show up, be intentional, and expect great things. You deserve a life brimming with happiness, success, and fulfillment. May your journey be filled with hope, love, faith, and joy. And then it says, gracefully growing, Kelley Duren Jones. So in this book, I share my story. If you would like to purchase the book, it's available on my website as well as Amazon. My website is www.graced, the number 2, grow.com. And thank you again for allowing me to share a part of my journey. I'm still on this journey. I think we all are, of healing and hope. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak with you today. If you have any questions, I'm here. Anita, what an amazing journey. Perfectly imperfect. Love it. I love to read your book. Do you have a link? Yes, I'll share the link here. Yeah, that perfectly imperfect I had put on a t-shirt because I felt like that just said everything about me. Just a quick little story. When I did my book launch, there was an issue with the page numbers. I'm very particular about my design of my different books. And so when I was so excited, there was 50 books in the box and the pages were like not aligned. And I just fell in this whole dark hole. And I literally heard God said, this box of book is perfectly imperfect. Push forward. So ever since then, I've been like perfectly imperfect. So yeah.
I love it. Thank you.